Hi friends, Juan the Yarn Addict here, bringing you a Camp Boggy Creek blanket tutorial. Today I offer you the Squiggle Wiggle blanket. So here it is. Now this is my take on a mile a minute. I did a slight modification to allow the squiggle wiggles to happen here, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did to create that. It's super fast, fun, and easy to work up, and I used 4 opposing colors of yarn. Each panel here has 4 rounds, as you can see here, and there are 8 panels in the blanket. So it starts here and it goes all the way across, and as you can see, no 2 colors touch throughout the entire project here. Just like that. Now the blanket measures 45 inches wide by 50 inches long, and it is super nice. I absolutely love this. It's so good. So let's go ahead and flip it to the back here so we can show you what the back looks like. So the back obviously looks like the other side with the exception of the join here. So in the join, you can see there's these little dots here that I think the kids will really like. It showcases the opposing color. It gives off that contrast that the other side does as well, but in a different way. So that is what the blanket looks like. I gave you the measurements. Let's go ahead and get into what materials you are going to need to create this project. Okay friends, so for this tutorial, the materials that you're going to need are 4 opposing colors of yarn here. So 2 of the skeins on this side of the screen are Red Heart Super Saver. These 2 colors are Loops and Threads Soft Classic. I just felt that these 4 together looked absolutely amazing. You're going to need 350 yards of each color. So in total, you're going to need 1,400 yards for this project. The hook size for the project I used was a 6.5mm crochet hook. You're going to need a pair of scissors to cut as you go. You are also going to need a darning needle to sew in your ends. And if needed, and I do highly suggest, you're going to need a way to measure your work to just make sure that you fall within the parameters required for Boggy Creek. So if you decide to not use a 6.5mm crochet hook, that is all fine, well and good. Just make sure that you measure your work so that, again, you fall within the parameters required. So for Boggy Creek, you are going to need to stay within 35 to 40 inches wide by 45 to 50 inches long. Okay, so that is the information. Let's go ahead and get this tutorial started. Okay friends, so to get started, what we need to do is create a slip knot on our hook. However you do this is absolutely fine. This is how I do it. So from here, you want to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's what the 4 chains looks like. And what we want to do is we want to take the tip of our crochet hook and go into this very first chain. We're going to drop a loop and slip to close, just like that. We're going to take our tail and pinch it against the chain and tug very gently on our working yarn, and you will see a circle that has formed here. That's where we're going to work our stitches out of. For now, next we need to chain 2. These 2 chains does not count as a stitch, it just takes us to this first row here. Okay? So while you're holding on to your tail here on the chain, you're going to go into this circle here with 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 doubles. Let's get started. Yarn over, go in, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and we're going to repeat that 2 more times. So 3 double crochets, chain 1, and we're going to go back into the circle with 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So that's what it looks like here. And we're going to ignore this little spot here with the chain 2. Again, it was just to take us to the level we needed to get to. So that's what we look like here. Okay, so from here we are going to start the repeat, and the repeat is we are going to chain 2 and turn our work, and we're going to go right back into this chain space here. So we started in a chain space, we're going to continue working into the chain spaces. So in the chain space, we're going to repeat what we see down here. It's going to be 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3 double crochets, chain 1, and we're going to go back into the chain space with 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. And again, it's just a repeat here. We're going to chain 2, turn our work, and go right into the chain space here with 3 double crochets, chain 1, and 3 double crochets. Just like that. Okay? So if you were following me and you're using a 6.5mm crochet hook, you are going to need 50 rows. Okay, there are 3 rows here. You're going to need 50 of these. Now, if you're deciding to not use a 6.5mm crochet hook, whether you're hooking up or hooking down to a different size, please make sure you are measuring your strip. Your strip needs to measure 45 inches, okay? From the chain space here to the tip. 45 inches, okay? So continue on with this pattern, making sure that you chain 2, go into the top portion here with 3 doubles, chain 1, 3 doubles, and I will see you once you have all of your required stitches, okay? So I'll see you in just a moment. Okay, so I am back and I have the rows that I need for this tutorial. Now for the purposes of this tutorial, I've only gone 10 rows in, but if you are following the parameters for Boggy Creek and you're using this hook size with a medium 4-weight yarn, you're going to need 50. Now if any of those things are different, please make sure that you measure your strip and that you measure 45 inches long before moving on, okay? So from here, what we want to do is cut off our color. All right, so let's go ahead and cut that off. And I'm going to introduce the next color here, which is going to be blue. So let's go ahead and hook the blue in, just like that. Bring that in there and just tighten everything up. And we're going to tie the blue and the yellow together. So let's just flip our work over. And let's just tie these 2 colors together, just like that. There we go. Okay. So now we have the blue. Now we're going to start round number 2. So from here, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to go right into the head of this stitch, which is right in between my thumbs. This is the last double crochet of the row there. We're going to go in there with a single crochet. So we're going to insert our hook, draw up a loop, yarn over, and go through both of those loops, just like that. Okay? So from here, we are going to work into this chain space right here. We're going to go in there with 3 double crochets. Yarn over, go in, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. We're going to do that 2 more times. So you have a total of 3 double crochets, and from here you're going to go right into this chain space on the side with a single crochet, just like that. We're going to repeat that for the length of the side here. So we're going to go right into this space right here with 3 doubles. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to go into this space right here with a single crochet, and then 3 doubles here. And it's pretty simple here with the process. So you're just doing 3 doubles and then a single, and you're alternating, as you can see here. Okay, so continue on with that, and I will meet you at the end of your row here. Okay, so I am back, and this is my short little swatch here, and this is what it looks like. Obviously yours is going to be significantly longer, but you have 3 doubles and a single, 3 doubles and a single, repeating all the way down until the end of the side here of your row. So if you notice, on this side here you have 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. See those 3 stitches there? So you want to insert your single crochet in the last of the 3. So it's right here where my thumb is. So you have 1, 2, and 3. We're going to insert our hook into this stitch, making sure you pick up the front loop and the back loop, draw up the loop, yarn over, and go through both of those just like that. and that will complete your first side here. Okay, now from here what we want to do is chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to go into our circle that we created when we first started our project. We're going to go in there with a single crochet. And then from here, we're going to chain 3 again. So 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to loop over here. And instead of going into the double crochet, we are going to go into the chain space here on the side with a single crochet. And if you notice, whatever happened on this side, the opposite is going to happen on this side. So we had 3 doubles on the bottom here, and now we have a single crochet on the top. So from here, we're going to go right into this open space down here, and we're going to give that space 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And if you notice, I am working loosely here, just to allow the space to fill up. Okay, so from here we're just going to repeat what we've been doing. So we did 3 double crochets, and now in this chain space we're going to give that chain space a single crochet, and then 3 doubles. Oops, it's 1, 2, and 3, and then a single crochet. So continue doing this, and I will meet you at the end right here. Okay. Okay, friends, so here we are at the end of the other side here, and this is what we're looking like here. Super, super nice. Okay, and so from here we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to insert a single crochet in our chain space right here at the top. Just like that. And from here, we're going to chain 3 again. That's 1, 2, and 3. And then we are going to go into the very first single crochet of the round. We're going to insert our hook, draw up a loop, and slip to close. It's a little tricky, but we can do it. Just like that. Okay, so there is that. So from here we're going to chain 2, and we're going to cut off our work, pull the hook away from our work, and pull this down into our work just like that to create a knot. Okay, so that is the end of round number 2. Let me move the blue yarn out of the way. So yeah, as you can see, it's off center, and that is okay. The squiggles and the wiggles are there. Super, super nice. Okay, so from here, we're going to go ahead and introduce the third color. Okay, so the third color is going to be orange for me. Whatever color you're choosing, just make sure it's a different color. No 2 colors are touching. So from here, we are going to create a slip knot on our hook. However you do this is fine. This is how I do it. And so now to start round number 3, or round 2, however you decide to call it, the third color. So we are going to do what's called a standing double crochet. And we're going to do it above the single crochet right here on one of the sides. You can choose whichever side you like, preferably right off of the corner here, or the round. You're going to yarn over, go into the single crochet, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. And the trick is, you just want to make sure you're holding on to your work. So let me go ahead and pull this out and show you once more. So once you have your slip knot, you're going to yarn over, you're going to go into your single crochet, and if you notice, I'm holding on to everything with my finger. So you're going to go in, draw up a loop, yarn over. Now see it, now I'm holding with my thumb and my other finger. You're going to go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. So instead of seeing a chain here, you're going to see a double crochet. Okay, that is a standing double crochet. So from here, we're going to skip 1 stitch and go into the next stitch. And if you notice, it's in the middle of the 3. So we're going to create what's called the iris stitch. It is a double V. So we're going to do 2 double crochets. That's 1. That's 2. We're going to chain 1 and go back in with 2 more doubles. It's 1 and that's 2. And from here, we're going to go into the single crochet with a double. So yarn over, go in, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. So the repeat of the round, at least for the side anyway, is going to be double crochet above the singles, and then in the middle stitch, you're going to do the iris stitch. So from here, we're going to skip a stitch and go into the middle here with the iris stitch, which is 2 doubles, chain 1, and then 2 double crochets again, just like that. And we're going to repeat that until we get to this last single crochet of the side right before the chain spaces, okay? So continue doing that and I will meet you right here. And just to recap, you're going to do a double crochet above the singles, and then in the middle stitch of the 3, you're going to create the iris stitch. 2 doubles, a chain, and 2 doubles, okay? So continue with that, and I will see you right here, right before the chains. Okay, so I am back, and I am right before the chains, as you can see, and this is what the row looks like so far. Here's our standing double right here, and then, yeah, it's super nice. Just like that, okay? So now in the chain space here, we are going to do 6 double crochets. But before we do that, we need to go back into this stitch that we just came out of, and we're going to do twins in a stitch. We're going to yarn over and do another double crochet, just like that, to start out the round here. Because what we're going to do is we're going to make this odd shape into a more round shape, okay? So at the end of our row here, right before the chains, you're going to need to do twins in a stitch. That's 2 double crochets into that last single of the previous row, as you can see here, okay? So from here, we're going to insert 6 double crochets into this chain space here. 1, 2, just continue with that, and I'll be right back once I have my 6 double crochets. Okay, so once you have your 6 double crochets, you're going to go into this single crochet with twins in a stitch. So 2 double crochets into that stitch, just like that. And in this chain space, we are going to do 6 more double crochets. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I just did 6 double crochets here, and now we've approached a single crochet. And so in this single crochet here, right before we get into the side, we're going to do twins in a stitch again. So 2 double crochets into that stitch, just like this. Perfect. Okay, so let me just make a bunny ear here and just recap what this actually looks like. So in this very first single, we did twins in a stitch, then we did 6 double crochets, and then in this stitch here, we did twins in a stitch, 6 doubles in the chain space, and then here we did twins in a stitch in this single. Okay, so in the ends, the singles get twins in a stitch, and then the chain spaces get 6 doubles, okay? If you need to rewind me, go ahead and do that, but that's just how it is for every panel, okay? So from here, we're going to repeat the iris stitch. So we're going to skip this stitch and go into the middle stitch with 2 doubles, 1, 2, chain 1, and go back into that stitch with 2 double crochets, just like this. And then in the single, we just do a standalone double crochet, just 1 double, and then we're going to repeat this. So in the middle stitch here, right here, we're going to do the iris stitch. 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, so continue with that, and I will meet you right here, right before the chain space. Okay. Okay, so I am back. I finished my last iris stitch above my 3 doubles here, and this is what the side looks like. Okay, so here we are. There is a single crochet here. Now before the end, we have a single here, which means twins in a stitch. So 2 double crochets on top of that stitch, just like that. And so from here, we're going to go into the chain space with 6 doubles. So that's 1, 2, and then I'll finish the rest off camera. I'll be right back. Okay, so I did my 6 doubles, and I'm going to do twins in a stitch right here on the end. So that's 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. And then in this chain space right here, I'm going to do 6 double crochets. I'm going to do those off camera. I'll be right back. But yes, 6 double crochets into this last chain space before the end. Okay, so I am back, and this is what we're looking like here. Lots of stitches. Okay, so from here, we're going to join to the very first stitch of the round. We're going to go into the head of this standing double crochet right here. We're going to drop a loop and slip to close. Pull on our working yarn right here to just make sure everything's nice and tight. Chain 2. Grab the scissors, cut off a tail, pull the work away. Pull the hook away from our work. Pinch and pull down into our work to create that knot. Okay, so there we have it here. Super, super nice. Let me back up a little bit so we can see. There we go. Okay, very, very nice. So from here, we're going to introduce our 4th color, which is red. Okay, so to get started with our red, we are going to create a slip knot on our hook. Again, and as always, however you do this is fine. This is how I do it. So from here, we are going to be looking for our standing double, okay? Which this is where we finished off. So we are going to create a standing double on top of this standing double here. So I'm just going to reiterate what I've shown before. So we're going to yarn over, use your finger to hold on to everything, okay? We're going to go into the stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 of those loops, yarn over, and go through 2 of those loops. And that is a standing double crochet. And so we're going to insert 1 double crochet in every stitch and chain space. So for the iris stitch, we chained 1. We're going to go into that chain space with a double crochet. So every stitch of the side here will receive a double crochet, just like this. We're going to go in, double crochet in every stitch, like so, like that. So continue doing that to every stitch until you get to the twins in a stitch right here. Okay, so go all the way down the side of your panel there until you get to the twins in a stitch, and I'll meet you right there. Okay, so here I am at the end of the side here. I've inserted double crochets in every stitch, and here I am at the twins in a stitch from the previous round. Okay, so the pattern for the round here is going to be twins in a stitch and 3 standalones. So in this first stitch here of the twins, we're going to do twins in a stitch. So 1 double crochet, and then we're going to go back in with another double crochet, just like that. And then we're going to do 3 standalones, 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And then from here, we're going to do twins in a stitch again. So that's 1, That's 2. And then we're going to do 3 standalones in a row. 1, 2, and 3. And then from here, twins in a stitch. 1 and 2. And then we're going to do 3 standalones. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do twins in a stitch. 1 and 2. Oops. This is twins in a stitch. And then the last 3 stitches will receive standalones. It's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So we have a nice rounded edge. So we went from like a misshapen end here to a nice rounded edge. Okay. So that is what it's looking like. Very, very nice. All right. So from here, in this set of, or pair of twins in a stitch rather, in the very first one, we're going to do twins in a stitch. And then from here, 1 double crochet in every stitch, all the way down the side until you get to the twins in a stitch. Let me back the camera up just a little bit and show you that again. So now that we've done twins in a stitch here in the first twin, and that completes the round here, okay? So from here, it's 1 double crochet in every stitch and in every chain space. So 1 double crochet all the way down until you get to the twins in a stitch, okay? So go ahead and do 1 double crochet, and I will meet you down here when we get to the twins in a stitch. Okay, so I am back here. I've done a double crochet in every stitch of the side here. This is what we're looking like. Super nice. All right, so I'm at the twins in a stitch here from the previous round. So what we're going to do is twins in a stitch, standalone, 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 okay? So the jingle goes twins in a stitch and then 1, 2, 3, twins in a stitch and then 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's go ahead and put 2 doubles into this next stitch. So that's 2 double crochets, and then the next 3 stitches get 1 double. 1, 2, and 3. Next door here, twins in a stitch, and then 1, 2, 3. Each one of those stitches receive 1 double. From here, twins in a stitch, so 2 double crochets, and then 1, 2, and then 3. From here, twins in a stitch, it's 2 doubles, and then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it looks like we're done. However, as you can see, there is a gap there. So to close the gap, we're going to go into this very first stitch here of the round, and we're going to give our standing double crochet a twin. So we are going to go in and just give that stitch another stitch, okay? And so from here, we're going to go into the head of the very first stitch of the round, drop a loop, slip to close just like that, and we're going to chain 2. Let's grab the scissors, cut a tail, pull the hook away from our work, pinch and pull down into our work to give our work that knot, which we will sew in later. So there it is, we have all 4 rounds of our work. So I am going to go ahead and begin sewing in my ends very quickly. I have my darning needle right here, and I'm just going to show you very quickly just one, and then off camera I will sew in the rest of my work here. So you're going to take your needle here and you're going to yarn over and pinch directly underneath very tightly like that. You're going to pull the needle away and feed the yarn through the eye. Bring the needle back and literally just go into your stitch. Just go in like that, just like that, and trim it off. We did double knots all throughout this, so it's not going to fall apart or anything. So all you're doing is just hiding your tails, okay? So continue doing that, sewing in all of your ends, and I will meet you in just a second to show you how to join the panels together. 1 second. Okay, so I am back, and here we're going to join 2 panels. Now, I created a second panel of the same size off camera, and so what we're going to do is we're going to join this panel to this panel right here. So you could use stitch markers or you could use pieces of yarn, and I'm going to show you exactly where to mark your work so that you can go ahead and join your panels together. So let me just go ahead and bring that down. Okay, so if you look at your work here, you will see that you have one side where it has the squiggle going up like this, okay? So your squiggle starts here at the bottom and then it curves up and comes down. So on the side where it curves up, okay, you want to place a stitch marker or a piece of yarn in the stitch before the twins. So this is where we started and stopped our round. So in the stitch before the twins is where you want to place your stitch marker, and you want to come down to where the squiggle comes down like that, and you want to place a stitch marker 2 stitches after your twins. Okay, so again, if you look at your squiggles, if you start, or if you have it where your squiggle is starting at the bottom, you're going to come up and bring your work to the edge here and look at it and place a stitch marker in the stitch before the twins, okay? And then come down to the other end here, look for your twins, and then count 2 stitches, and then in this third one rather, you're going to place a stitch marker, okay? So we did have that jingle where it was twins in a stitch, 1, 2, 3. So in the 3 here is where you want to place that. And then on the other side, let's just turn it around, and where your squiggle is faced up and comes around like this, what you want to do is look for your twins, and you're going to place your stitch marker in the second twin there. Okay? And then you're going to come down, and you're going to place your stitch marker in the first twin. So on the side where your squiggle looks just like this, where it is up and it comes down like this, you're going to place your stitch marker in the last twin and then in the first twin. Okay? That is one way to just pair everything up. The other way is to just sandwich it together and just go to town. But to get your stitch counts correct and everything, to make sure everything is even, you just want to look to see where your squiggles are and then just match it up. Feel free to rewind me and replay to just know exactly where to place everything. Okay? So once you have both panels marked, then what you want to do is sandwich it together so that your work is faced up on both sides. You're going to pinch it up like this, and if you see, it'll curve. See how it curves out? The back loop is going to show, and that's kind of what you want. The back loop is going to stick up on both sides. So I am going to mark my strip off camera. I will be right back to save us some time. Okay, so I have both panels marked here, exactly where I need them to be. And so I'm going to join these panels together with yellow. So I'm going to create a slip knot on my hook. However you do this is fine. This is how I do it. Okay, and so with this, I'm going to go into the back loops of my panels here, drop a loop and bring that through and slip to close and chain one. So once I have that, I'm going to pull my yarn out, and then I'm going to go into my first loop here that I just came out of, and I'm going to drop a loop, yarn over, and go through both with a single crochet. And I'm going to do the back loops all along the side with a single crochet. Just going to go in to the back loops of my work here with a single crochet, just like that. Back loops. Let's grab the yarn here. And we're going to go all the way down the side. Okay? So continue with this, and I will meet you once we get to the end of our panel here. Okay? Okay, so I am at the end of my panel here, and I just have that very last stitch to go. So I'm going to go into the back loops of both of my stitches here, just like that. Drop a loop, and I'm going to pull the yarn out there. And so from here, what I like to do, just as a reinforcement, I go back into that stitch and I give it a second stitch. Chain two, grab the scissors, cut off a tail, pull the hook away from our work, and just pull that there like that. So we open that up, and there we have it. Let's flip that over. Super, super nice. It's exactly how it should look. If by chance your stitch counts don't match, don't worry about it. You can actually skip if you have to. Sometimes when people are joining panels together, they may miss a stitch. It is absolutely fine. Just make sure you're picking up the back loops and that you end and begin at the same spot. Okay? So with that, my friends, that is the tutorial. Let me bring back the blanket to show you what the finished product actually looks like once it's all done. And there you have it, a bigger version of what we've created. So, my friends, I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give me a like, consider subscribing to my channel, and of course turn on those notifications to be updated for future tutorials. All right, my friends, that is it, and until the next one, take care. Bye.